Welcome back to another episode on the J.A.T side. I'm your host, Jalen Austin Taylor, and today is Saturday, May 30th, 2026, and I'm so glad to be back today with you guys for another great episode. Um, Thank you guys for joining me, like I said, once again. And as you can tell by the title, this is going to be about the greatest, specifically two words in sports, and that's Game 7. Tonight is Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals for the NBA. It'll be featuring the Oklahoma City Thunder, the defending 2025 NBA champions, taking on the San Antonio Spurs, a young team with a lot of talent, a lot of great leadership, and a team that is hungry. They're driven, and we've seen that through the first 6 games of this series against OKC, and we saw it um, in the regular season as they finished with the second overall best record in the NBA. So the winner of this series will have home court advantage in the finals. The winner of this Game 7 tonight will have home court advantage for the NBA Finals, which start on Wednesday, June 3rd, for anybody who was wondering. So both teams will have a little bit more time to rest and recoup no matter who wins tonight between OKC and San Antonio. So let's talk about the series to this point. All right. This series has been a dogfight for the first 6 games back and forth, It's been nothing short of nothing short of a maul. You talk about OKC, who had to fight through a lot of adversity this whole season, but especially this series, right? Jalen Williams, he's been in and out of the lineup. Not the other Jalen Williams, the light skinned one, not the light skinned, the dark skinned Jalen Williams. It's crazy I even have to say that. But J Dub, as people like to call him, J Dub, and then J Will is the other one. But J Dub, not being able to play game 2 really, didn't play game 3, game 4, or game 5. He tried to play game 6, and now he's been ruled out for game 7. So not having one of your best players obviously is going to affect your offensive play. And looking at the inactives, the notable inactives, it's Jalen Williams, J Dub, and then AJ Mitchell also is out. Just to give a little bit of information on those two guys' production, this postseason, AJ Mitchell, the lefty, 23-year-old, whose birthday is actually on June 25th. So he'll be turning 24 very soon. He went to Santa Barbara. And this postseason is averaging, looks like, give me 1 second. He's averaging 15.1 points per game. So he's been a crucial part of OKC's offense. He's also averaging 4.3 assists and 3.7 rebounds, along with 1.5 steals, which is very good. And then next we have J Dub. J Dub this postseason, through only 5 games that he's played, so obviously that's not very good. But through 5 games, he's averaging 14.4 points per game, 2.8 assists, and 3.2 rebounds. So he's still been a pretty integral part of this team, even though he's only played in 5 playoff games. He didn't go to Santa Barbara. He went to Santa Clara, and he is 25 years old. The 6'5" shooting guard / wing out of Santa Clara. So both of these guys not playing in Game 7 obviously is crucial for OKC. The Spurs don't have any notable inactives. So we don't have to discuss their inactives. De'Aaron Fox, who was questionable early on in the series, he will be playing. Dylan Harper, as far as I know, will be playing. So those are the 2 question marks answered for the Spurs. This game is set to tip off at 8 p.m. tonight on NBC and Peacock. Expect a dogfight, just like this whole series has been. Obviously, OKC does get home court advantage tonight, and that's going to be rocking. That atmosphere is going to be rocking at Paycom Center, and I can't wait to watch. The OKC take on the Spurs tonight, and I know it's going to be a great game, just like the series has been a great series. Most people think that the winner of this game 7 tonight will win the NBA Finals, which I completely agree with. I think both of these teams are more tested than the Knicks. With all due respect, the Knicks have been having a cakewalk. They had literally had a cakewalk to the Eastern Conference Finals, minus the Atlanta Hawks giving them a little bit of trouble in the first 3 games of the series in the first round. But ever since then, the Knicks have had a cakewalk to the NBA Finals. And they've won, what is it now, 11 straight games, 11 straight postseason wins. You rarely see something like that, but the Knicks are doing it. I'm not saying that I'm not saying it doesn't have anything to do with the talent that the Knicks have, but all I'm saying is that the Knicks simply have not really had any competition since the Hawks, and that was over a month ago. So, when you talk about not really having any competition for that long, it can only, make you complacent, I feel like, to some extent. Now, it doesn't seem like that's the vibe in the locker room, but it may be a good thing for the Knicks. It may be using their favor, because I'm telling you, they're going to need everything they have to defeat not either one, but either OKC or San Antonio. Whoever wins tonight, the Knicks have their hands full, and that's the bottom line. So Knicks fans out there, Coach B, all my other New Yorkers who are listening to this, you guys have your hands full. And I know you already know that, but let me just reiterate that to you. You're either going to face a young, hungry team like San Antonio, who has just dogs all over the roster. You got Dylan Harper, Victor Wembanyama, the alien. You got De'Aaron Fox, a veteran who's never played in the finals, by the way. This may be his only shot to get a ring. De'Aaron Fox. You got Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle. I mean, I could keep on going. Harrison Barnes, a veteran who's been to the finals, who's won NBA championships, plural. And then on the other side, you got Oklahoma City. You got the MVP, back-to-back MVP, SGA. You got Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, who's been shooting the lights out the ball. If healthy, you got Jalen Williams, potentially even AJ Mitchell. If those two guys come back, the Knicks are even in more trouble. I mean, the depth of the OKC Thunder is crazy. Undoubtedly, they have to be the deepest team in the NBA when healthy. When healthy. Right? So, Knicks fans, you got your hands full. That's the bottom line, man. Stephen A. Smith, I don't know how you would get in contact with this, but Stephen A. Smith, if you're listening, I hope on First Take on Monday, you have your hands full, regardless of if you get the Spurs or if you get OKC. So don't get too happy, Knicks fans. Don't get too happy regardless of the result of tonight. Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of people outside of the Knicks culture, they believe that you guys are done. I'm just going to be honest. And I hope that lights a fire under the Knicks, because I'm sure they're hearing that same narrative. Whoever wins tonight is winning the finals. So we'll see how the Knicks respond to that. They will be on the road. That's another thing. They will be on the road. We'll see how far those Knicks fans really travel. Because me personally, I don't think they will, as much as they have been. I mean, think about it. Atlanta, that's on the East Coast. Cleveland, that's a few-hour drive. On the East Coast also. Philly, are we serious? Philadelphia, less than 3 hours away. I mean, it's all local. It's all been local, but now you're talking about flying across the country. San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Midwest. I just don't think the Knicks fans are going to travel that far. That's me personally. But we'll see how strong the New York Knicks fan base really is, because you guys are going to be on the road for the first 2 games of the NBA Finals. So we'll see how far the Knicks fans really travel here in just about a week. Actually, 4 days. NBA Finals start on June 3rd, Wednesday night. It's only a matter of time before we see what this Knicks team and the Knicks fan base is truly made of. And that's the beauty of the NBA playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. But we already talked about how the series went to this point. Let's give a little bit more background. So during the regular season, OKC and San Antonio faced off 5 times. OKC lost 4 of those 5 games, meaning their record in the regular season against San Antonio was 1-4. Meaning the Spurs literally beat them in a playoff series, best of 7. They would have won that series 4-1. If you combine the postseason games and the regular season games, the Spurs still have the advantage over OKC. Even if OKC wins the series, the Spurs will still finish with the winning record against OKC combined for this regular season and postseason. They would finish either with a 7-4 record an 8-4 record if they win tonight, or they would finish with a 7-5 record if they lose tonight. But either way, they'll have won the season series against OKC. And I guess some Spurs fans may argue that's unfair, but guess what? That's just how the NBA works. So it is what it is. You got to win tonight. Those games that you won in the regular season, I hate to say it, but if you can't win tonight, they mean absolutely nothing. If the Spurs can't get the job done in OKC tonight, then they can kiss their hopes of winning a championship goodbye. OKC, same thing applies. That regular season success that you had, best record in the NBA, best home record in the NBA as well. All that goes away if they can't get the job done tonight. Every single game that they won means absolutely nothing if they can't win tonight. At least in the grand scheme of things. Because we all know nobody remembers how many games you won at the end of the season. They only remember if you won a championship or not. So that's where OKC is. But let's look at our X factors for tonight. All right. Our X factors. We got Victor Wembanyama, of course. He's the X factor for the Spurs. In wins, listen to this. In the 3 wins that San Antonio has got in this series, Victor Wembanyama is averaging 34 points per game, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Those numbers are absolutely crazy. That's a double-double with 3 blocks. Think about that. Yes, I know he's 7'4", but it's still hard to put up numbers like that. And I'm going to be honest, if the Spurs are going to have any chance of winning tonight, Victor Wembanyama is going to have to have a monster game like he did in Game 1. The only game that the Spurs won in OKC, by the way, where Victor Wembanyama dropped 41 points and 24 rebounds along with 3 blocks in a double overtime thriller. If you didn't watch that game, then you missed out. You really, truly missed out on a great game. But now let's move on to the X factor for OKC. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the back-to-back MVP. In wins, in OKC's 3 wins in this series, SGA is averaging 29 points per game, 10 assists, and 2.7 rebounds. SGA has been phenomenal in the wins. In the losses, however, he's been a little bit, iffy. He's still been leading the team in most games in scoring, but still, he just hasn't had those MVP performances when OKC has lost. So if OKC is going to have any chance of winning tonight, SGA is going to have to take the leadership, and he's going to have to really lead this team. He's going to have to really lead this team to a victory tonight if OKC is going to have any chance of winning this game. If not, OKC can kiss their chances of a championship goodbye. So, with that being said, this is going to be a very great game tonight. Like I said, it tips off at 8 p.m. It'll probably end up tipping off at about 8:10, 8:12, somewhere in there for the official tip-off. But I hope you guys enjoy Spurs and OKC Game 7. The winner punches their ticket to the NBA Finals. The loser has to go back to the drawing board and get in the lab in the offseason after a nice trip to Cancun. So, we'll see what happens tonight. Next week, we'll be doing a finals preview. So be on the lookout for that episode either Monday or Tuesday. But until then, I'm your host, Jalen Austin Taylor. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday afternoon. And until next time, I am out.